All right, everybody. The time is 6:48 p.m. Central. The date is December 7th, 2014. This is StormWatch. And tonight's forecast is podcast. All right. Here we go. Hey, everybody. I am Abra. We're gonna fucking talk about Heroes of the Storm. It's gonna be sweet. This is Stormwatch. With me, I have streaming luminary Biffy-saurus. Say hi, Biffy.
Hey.
We've got Zavis, celebrated guy that I met on Reddit.
Celebrated. Hello, Internet.
And infamous pro gamer and general nerd baller Leviathan's maid.
Aw, shit. What's up?
Beautiful. All right. This is going very well so far. I like it.
Hey, expect anything less?
To introduce someone.
It's a cat.
Zavis's cat was walking on his keyboard earlier today.
Yeah,
This is
we'll see if
LEV
that
cat.
happens again.
Okay. So, we're going to talk about some Heroes of the Storm, guys. I've got over here a very important list of stuff that we want to talk about. Oh, over here on my fancy dancy notepad document. So, we're going to get to that. First of all, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing great. It's a bit cold up here. I live up in Minnesota, and so that's always a bummer. But, can't complain too much. I'm used to it by now.
How's it going, Zavis?
I'm good. I live in Calgary, and so you'd think it would actually be pretty cold. It's 5 Celsius here, which is actually pretty warm. So, doing good.
Jealous.
I gotta say, I live inside my house and it's 23 Celsius. It's a very comfortable day, guys.
It's very good.
All right. So, I want to just, first of all, since we are doing this first episode of Stormwatch, episode 1, Jaina Fools. Oh no, I screwed it up on the title thing. I gotta fix that.
Ooh.
Mulligan one.
Well, I did it. It's one way to do it, but I think it's funnier if I make it obvious that it's Jaina. So I fixed that. I think I did it right on the... Yeah, I did it right on the
Jain
Twitch
of
thing.
Instead of Jaina.
Yeah, I did Jain of, which doesn't make any sense. So that's all dealt with now. So we're going to go around and just to, get to know everybody a little bit better, tell me a little bit about what you had for breakfast this morning, Biffy.
Oh God, what did I have for breakfast today?
Zavis, what did you have for breakfast?
I had pizza because my breakfast was at about 1 p.m. while I was out getting some Christmas gifts.
Maid, have you eaten since you slept for 15 hours and woke up?
I didn't get the chance.
Way too late.
Before I slept, I ate some delicious chocolate. That's a healthy breakfast.
That counts. I had some granola bars. All right, now that we know the cast, let's get into stuff. So Jaina got released. I guess we'll just start by talking about her, right? That's interesting. The kids love Jaina.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah?
I think Blizzard knocked it out of the park with Jaina. And others are saying this, so it's not like I'm saying anything groundbreaking here, but she, I think, kind of represents what the future should be, or hopefully will be, with Blizzard's hero design. Multiple builds that are viable. She's very strong, but also has clear, defined weaknesses. So overall, I think she fits a very good spot right now, and I think it's because they didn't really have any other carry mages in the game yet, so I feel very good about her.
Yeah, I think the closest thing to a carry mage, quote unquote, was Broken Nova because she was like a burst mage. So
yeah,
she's kind
some
of
people also looked at Tassadar, but he clearly got the nerf hammer pretty hard this last patch.
Yeah, definitely.
Tassadar, I think, was a very good carry mage, but also had some pretty good support, in his kit, just because he was not supposed to be a damage dealer. They just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, they really did.
I don't think he deserved the nerf hammer to the point where he did. They're definitely going to do some pretty big overhaul changes. like I said, I don't feel like he was overpowered. He was very strong, but he did have some weaknesses. I do think his E was a bit too strong in that he could just get out of any situation.
So now they made it
That's the
better.
one thing they buffed.
But it's like his Q is strong. Yeah, it's hella strong, but it doesn't have any other purpose than like just, oh, look, it's a big shield, you know? So like I don't feel he's a support as he is.
Yeah,
So
that's
he
true.
needs that damage.
It seems kind of weird that I feel like they've got the one talent that makes Psystorm slow and nobody takes it because it's got something else that's better than it. I can't remember off the top of my head what. I don't know if you guys
double
know.
storm.
Yeah, you can get double storm or you can get the slow. I feel like if they made it so that storm was more support centric, like they could have it like, you know, stun, do like a kind of like Muradin style, like 0.25 second stun every tick or so. Something to make it less like he's got one damage spell, one shield, and then an escape, and then, you know, Archon is more damage. So he just like, his kit leads you to believe that he should be a damage dealer, which I'm sure is why he ended up being such a strong source of damage, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just oversight by Blizzard. I mean, I agree with Lev here. I think that he'd be really fun if he was just a straight damage dealer. But I think after this patch, Blizzard made it real clear they want him to be a support player. And if you look at the nerfs or the buffs of the other support characters, like Uther with his Q nerfs, or Lily with her alt buffs, I think they're just trying to bring them back kind of hopefully into some level of even distribution of utility and damage.
Yeah.
I think they went too far as well, but I'm also not all that upset by it. And this is someone who played a lot of Tassadar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I main supports, and it's just like, okay, he's a bit less strong.
But you think he's fine?
Will it impact the meta? I think it will. I think people will pick Tassadar a bit less.
Oh, well, they were pissed.
Like,
they were picking, it was like 75% pick ban, right?
Yep, pretty much everybody was picking him. So if it's bad in that sense, if he was quote-unquote too strong for that, yeah, sure. I guess that does bring about some meta changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess.
I could...
Go ahead.
Go on.
No, I'm the host, but like it's not like I'm not gonna like step on anybody's toes. Jeez.
Okay, I'm also from Minnesota, so that whole like Minnesota nice / passive aggressive thing like that
Yeah.
may or may not be true. No, I was just gonna say that I predict in future patches they might tune him up again if he's a little too low.
I don't think it's a matter of sheer power. I think it's more about like what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be nice to see him. I don't know. We'll see where he's at. Like, I haven't been keeping up with the tournaments a lot, so I don't know if people are using him right now. But he feels fine, but not... He feels unfocused, so we'll see.
Yeah. I think it's like Evra was saying. They did definitely move his talents more towards Psystorm having more utility, because they brought down the damage, they brought down the crit damage from the ability. They gave it a shorter range, I believe, and less time between the dual casts to be able to use it, so you can't stack it, quote unquote, as easily as you could before.
Yeah,
and they
taking
made the
camps
talent
was so great with that.
Refunds mana better, so you can spam it on creep waves more easily. So it seems like they're trying to push it to that. Like, it's not a, hey, I'm going to nuke the enemy team and they're all going to die. It's, I'm going to use this to clear creep waves, or if someone could, by nerfing the dual cast talent, it's almost like they're trying to push up the one that adds the slow, because the dual cast talent's slightly less appealing. It's still probably the better choice by far, but it gives you that option to be like, well, maybe I can try out this slow one now.
The problem...
I mean...
Sorry, go ahead.
It's, like, my only thing is that some of the talent choices are still redundant. It's kind of like, if you look at Jaina, everybody's hailing her as the messiah of talent, because every talent feels like it's powerful. It feels like it means something, which is great, It's it takes you in a direction. You feel like you're doing something important. Whereas Tassadar, like level 1, he has that mana regen, but he also has Conjurer's Pursuit, which got buffed now.
No, did it, or are they going to?
It did. It gives
right.
you
It was
flat-
just Conjurers. And they're talking about doing it for other ones.
0.75 mana, and it still gives you mana every 3 orbs, which is really, really strong. I use it on pretty much all of my supports, and it's amazing.
Is it really? I've only I guess I've never taken it the mana regeneration version. I've played around with the health regen version, and the health regen version just feels like it's a pointless talent. So
Health regen's worse, yeah.
Okay.
The mana one can be a lot more useful because, I mean, if you're a caster-centric hero and you're going between point to point, helping with objectives.
Right.
Like, hey guys, I mean, I know I look strong, but I've got 1 or 2 spells left in me, and I'm done.
Yeah, that's the thing is,
So,
a slow mana regen is a lot better than an equally slow health regen, just because if you're not in combat, you can be using it a lot more on stuff. But I feel like the direction to take talents in general is just to like cut some of them to start. Like have 3 or 4 per level, just so you can make sure they're all viable. And like, it's good to have like talents that are good in certain situations where you have to look at the map, look at the enemy team comp and all that, and figure out what you're going to take. But I don't think they can really do the balancing act of having 5 talents in a level, or sometimes 4 talents will just not.
It generally doesn't work out, and especially for if any of you have played like World of Warcraft, when Blizzard went through its massive like talent overhaul, and it's really similar to the talent system in HOTS. There's only like 4 choices per like choice of talents.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
But even if they have that many, typically only one of them's viable for PvP, only one of them's viable for PvE. So that process basically plays itself out. There will, I think, always be, until they do really try and prune things down, there will still just be like those 2 or 3 really relevant talents. And then
as long as there's 2 or 3, I'm happy, because that's cool. And like, being like, oh, I want to fill this role this game based on, if you're doing normals and you just like end up with a random team, I want to do this based on my team, or I want to do this based on the map, then that's cool. Or the enemy team even. But like, yeah, so it gets to a point where you just go, well, I'm never going to pick that no matter what happens. Like this is always the best. And I think that's what the issue is.
Yeah, like Stitches is a talent that lets him pull teammates. Like, I don't know why that would ever be something your team wants.
Dude, special tactics.
It's like an invitation to troll.
This is exactly a different issue, though, because there's the way which I think probably all of us are looking at the talents is from, a competitive aspect of, okay, what is objectively better for what I'm trying to do? What's going to help me?
Sorry, everyone. Mate's apparently going through a tornado right now.
But there are other ways of looking at it, whereas like not everyone who plays the game is going to be competitive about it.
True.
A lot of people are going to pick a talent and be like, what is fun? What is really cool? What do I want to do? And that Stitches one, a lot of times you're going to have people who play Stitches with an Illidan per se, and the Illidan just goes balls deep, goes into someone's base, gets all the way, and then it's like, hook, bring them back out.
That's funny,
and that's probably not going to be very good and competitive, but when you see it happen, it's going to be like, holy shit,
You're right.
just happened.
That's a good argument for having some, like, fun talents. I could see that. There's still some, like...
I think we got to mute him there.
There we go. I was having some tech difficulties there with my sound. That's a perfectly fair and great argument for why talents like that should exist. And I think, like, especially if you get, let's say, content creators like Video Game Donkey and Law, you can have some really funny things made. But I just could never see myself taking it. Or if, like, let's say I'm playing Jaina and I'm about to engage, and I get pulled away from my engage point, I'm gonna be a little pissed.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, right?
Worth the risk, though, I think.
I do think it can be arranged so that it is good competitively, that talent specifically. Like it has so many unorthodox uses that you can think of.
Oh yeah.
Like someone goes in balls deep, goes
like it as an Illidan, yeah.
Yeah, that does crazy AoE and stuff, but glass cannon, and then you just whoop, pull him back in. And the enemy team's like, what's going on, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So let's talk. So the ones I'm more talking about. Have any of you guys ever picked Fury of the Storm, the one that makes your attacks bounce?
No. Nope.
I almost maybe my first couple games. I never take it.
How about Swift Storm?
No.
It's got its possibilities.
Biffy doesn't even know what that is. He's just like
I'm like thinking, wait a minute.
That's the one where I think you move faster mounted, and then it also makes it so you don't get knocked off your mount unless you take a lot of damage or something.
that talent's for most champions. Isn't that like a level 16 or level 20?
No, it's
talent?
20. Yeah,
20, I think,
it's like,
yeah.
hey,
Oh yeah.
hey,
I almost.
20.
I'll tell you
never
what,
take it.
guys. You can have one of the following talents: Resurgence of the Storm, which makes you resurrect every 90 seconds almost instantly. But wait. There's a second option. You don't get knocked off your mount. Well, you do, but like not as much.
Right answer. I pick B. I pick B. This isn't even a contest.
No, I mean, especially like. I see. That's the other thing, though, is I haven't been taking a whole lot of Resurgence, but it also got nerfed really hard this patch. Not really hard.
50%.
I've been taking almost always Bolt of the Storm.
Bolt
Yeah,
is really
Bolt is good.
I mean, it's for anyone who've played Dota or League of Legends, like those games, the cooldowns on blink mechanics, unless it's built into the champ like it is on Zeratul, they're usually prohibitively
3 or
long,
4 minutes.
cooldowns.
Yeah.
Whereas in this game, it's like 35 seconds.
Yeah, that
Like,
just
what?
kind of that goes along with like the style of the game, you know. Like you would never have a character that could blink every 10 seconds for a low mana cost anymore in League of Legends. Like Kassadin used to kind of be
no.
like that, but that was his ultimate. He didn't even get it till level 6, and now it starts to just drain your mana when you do it because they realized it was too good. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I
a different
I
game,
love
but
it.
yeah,
There have
Bolt of
been-
the Storm is still good in this game because they balanced it properly, cooldown wise.
Yeah, and I think the reason I keep on going back to it is just because of the comfort of running a game where I get to flash or blink or whatever we want to call it, depending on the specific MOBA.
Well,
Yeah, it's
And I'm
really
just
good.
too used to that kind of freedom to engage or disengage as needed.
yeah.
Although, as you're saying, it's interesting that you almost never have that choice. You know, like, do I take Bolt of the Storm? Do I take Resurgence of the Storm?
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I think there's very few heroes that have an overlap on that. Because you tend to see Bolt on tanky heroes, or Bolt is on AD carries or mage heroes, things that want to get the heck out of there. Where you tend to see Resurgence on the fighter types who are going to go in there and they're going to die.
Yeah, I mean, the two most played champions I have are Stitches and now Jaina. Well, I mean, I plan on playing Jaina as much as I've played Stitches, and they both have it.
Okay.
And so that's why I've been just thinking, like I could probably make good use of Resurgence, but I love Blink, Hook, Gorge. Like that combo is too much fun.
That's pretty sweet.
Until you like gorge the wrong target, and you're like, fuck. Like, I just gorge there, but not like, oh, Val is still pounding me down. Okay.
Blink, Hook, Gorge, or Gorge, or Hook, Gorge, Blink.
Gorge, blink.
Oh, I mean, that's a good one too. This is the last
amazing
time I
one.
used it effectively. I had to get in range. Their Illidan had blinked away, so I blinked after him, and then hooked gorged him. And my team was following. I walked back towards them, and it was fun. We said good night to Mr. Illidan. The
So,
hatred of 10,000 years was not felt.
Yeah, they were pretty prepared.
Yeah. Yes.
Bolt is obviously well made in this. I think in this case, it's really more of a case of the entire rest of the game is not made for Bolt. Like
Yeah.
it's not ready for Bolt. There's not enough walls, enough places that you can really abuse it. Like in League, everything is pretty tight. So almost any situation, you're next to a cliff or somewhere that you can blink to and be like, "Sup, see ya."
See you, nerds.
Like in this case, if you're next to the enemy base, you're gonna be like, "Oh, look at me! I'm gonna try some fancy gorge
Gorge,
blink
Hook, Blink.
stuff."
Hook,
So
Gorge,
you're
Blink.
like, "Okay, I pulled him, I gorged him, and I blinked, and I'm still in the open space. Well, this is awkward. Where's my
Yeah.
team?"
It's definitely a much more open map design. Although it also leads to the question, which I think I'll actually ask this as a question, you guys, what you think about it, because it's a lot more predominant in something like League to have Flash. Like, everyone has Flash. It's a summoner spell. Everyone takes it. Like, almost unanimously, you're going to have Flash. So 4 to 5 people on each team will have Flash. So when you're having a fight and you're trying to run away and you flash over the wall, more likely than not, the other person flashes over the wall right after you.
It can
So,
happen, yeah.
In this, you have fewer people who are actually going to have Bolt of the Storm. So does that make it more relevant? Because if you're sitting around and you're in a team fight and you need to get the heck out of there and you bolt over that line of trees and you're on the other side, how likely is anyone going to follow you?
I mean, I think one of the key differences comes from the fact that, like, let's say in League, Flash has a much longer cooldown, a couple hundred seconds, and so it's easier to track whether, especially if you're communicating with your team, it's a lot easier to track who has their Flash available and who doesn't. Whereas in Heroes of the Storm, the cooldown's so low that you can almost always assume that they're going to be able to bolt after you. So in League, in your situation, like if you flash, you can, if you're, again, keeping track of these things, know whether or not you're going to actually have a safe flash or a wasted flash. And I think that's where you see a lot of the like high tier players get separated from the lower tier. But I'm not sure how that would play out so much in HOTS, but I think that's just a more specific scenario given the longer cooldown in League. More people have access, but there's a much greater cost.
I really like it the way it is, where there's just, the certain heroes that have it. It seems like a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I actually had like almost zero complaints with balance in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I didn't even have a problem with Nova, but that's, you could debate that either way, and it's not relevant anymore because, she's
not relevant anymore.
made.
Actually, I love Nova. When I first started
I've still
playing,
gotta play
she was
her
my favorite hero.
post.
She's my bae. I hate that word, but she was my crush. I loved playing Nova, and then she got the rework where she got really strong, and I hated playing her because it just felt dirty and bad. So I stopped playing her for quite a while, and now that she's rotated out and she's still strong, she's just not as crazy, and it's really fun again.
It reminds me of Shaco in League of Legends, where he's like not very good, but people who know how to use him really well will still just absolutely ruin your day.
You just infuriate the enemy team. You're just like, nah.
All right, well, that was a great discussion about Jaina that we just had, guys.
I know, right?
Yes.
Can we get on that topic?
See, remember when I was like, I can't remember, I think it was Zavis was just like, hey, let's do you want to like put the topic list on the side? I'm like, no, that's probably not a good idea, man. But yeah, that would I mean, let's move on to patch notes if you guys are down with that.
So by that you mean we gotta start talking about Jaina, right?
Well,
So
I'm bringing up the patch notes right now, and the very top of it is just Jaina. So let me tell you guys what I hate about Jaina, because this is not a popular opinion. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here. She's really lame.
Whoa.
Do you not like?
Okay, here's what I don't like. You know what? I don't like her on paper. I haven't played her per se. I think you guys all have, right? Or Biffy might not. Yeah, you guys all have. Maybe you haven't.
Me.
What kind of a pro gamer are you, man?
I've played her like 20 or 25 times at this point.
Okay. So, I know that everybody's talking about how great her talents are, and how, they're really amazing, make so many different options for you to play, but to me, I look at her basic abilities. Frostbolt. Fires a bolt that deals damage. Blizzard. Creates a storm of ice at target location. Damaging. Cone of cold. Deals damage in a cone. Frostbite. Your abilities chill targets, slowing them and causing them to take increased damage. Her 3 abilities are deal damage in a line, deal damage in an area, and deal damage in a cone.
And you know what? I will agree with you.
Nobody has a problem with this? What?
Like, when I first read her details, yes, I was like, she just looks like a boring champion. There's no way I'm going to like playing her. But then I played her, and the satisfaction you get from comboing your abilities, from seeing crit everywhere,
That's exactly it. She's not a diverse champion. She is a combo champion.
Okay.
She is redundancy, because all her abilities do very similar things, and each time you do it, it gets better.
They do literally the same thing in just a different place.
Welcome to Street Fighter of the Storm.
Yeah, seriously.
The game where all abilities do the same thing and you just focus on combos.
You know, I had never even thought about it like that. That is a great comparison.
I can't get behind it, but I guess like if the talents are really cool and like make it interesting, then whatever. But
It's nice because you can go like a Frostbolt centric build by increasing its range, letting it pierce, reducing its cooldown if you use it on an already chilled target. Combo that with Icy Veins, and you're looking at a team fight where you're hitting your Q once a second for crit damage. But then you can go builds where your E does extra damage, has lower cooldown, and roots people. I mean, like, or you can go these Water Elemental build where your Water Elemental will eventually start mimicking all your spells. Like, I just like that there are multiple viable builds. You compare it to someone like Stitches, who really, in my opinion, is best built around slamming. Whereas with Jaina, I think you can go Q build, you can go E build. But then again, I guess she hasn't been around long enough to know if these things are actually true, whereas Stitches has been around long enough for like a meta around his play to settle, but maybe not with Jaina, so I could be wrong.
I mean, before you could you could go for an E build on Stitches, where you went for HP regeneration and you were very tanky and stuff.
Really?
But people realized that it wasn't just as good as Slam or as Hook build, so that's the thing.
Okay.
But I mean, on the top tiers, most people focus not on Slam, but on the hook part of Stitches.
Yeah,
they focus on engaging and stuff like that. Also, most people, not most people, never mind. But a lot of good people are starting to use Putrid Bile, which is crazy strong. So
Which challenge is that again? Because I think I take that one in every one of my games. Is that the one that increases the duration?
No. Putrid Bile is level 10, and it
oh my
gives
god,
you
it's his
that
other
puke.
ult.
Yeah. But yeah, most people don't think about it, but it's actually extremely strong. It's got a really low cooldown, and yeah.
I took it the first couple games I played with him, and then ever since then, just for the simple fun and hilarity of gorging somebody, I've been just taking Gorge almost every time. There's also something really satisfying about gorging an assassin and just keeping them out of the fight for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Or taking the upgraded one at 20 and just eating the entire
other.
enemy team.
I only tried Hungry Stitches a couple times, and I was like, oh, this is just like me smashing R and then dying.
Yeah, dude. Sounds great.
Let's tell you what, guys. I'm going to take this team fight, and I'm going to move it this way.
Why don't we just take the team fight and push it somewhere else?
If we play together and I see you take level 20 Hungry Stitches, like, I will hate you forever. I will not forgive you.
It's called the Bikini Bottom build. Alright, so moving on with the patch notes. We've got some garbage that nobody cares about with art. Some things look different. I don't care because I play on lowest settings. I don't know. How much do we really want to talk about stim packs? Do you guys care?
I don't want to touch stim packs.
I do.
You want to?
I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on it.
I don't either.
It's a game. It's a business. Like, fuck it, they can, or pardon my French, they can do whatever they want. I'm not gonna buy them.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I'm not gonna buy them.
There's IP boosts and RP boosts, or IP boosts and XP boosts in League of Legends, and that never affected me negatively in any way. I think the reason there was so much outrage about it is, especially on Reddit, the guy who posted it said, "Hey guys, fed up with how terrible gold gain is? Fix that by paying real money." And it struck people as like what the official stance on it was, whereas cause they're just like, "Hey, are you guys, upset about how we're giving you 20 to 30 gold per game? Well, you can fix that for the low price of $9.99.
Well, I mean, I think
actually not declared yet, though. We don't know how much they're going to cost.
That's the thing. Is like, well, yeah, I was just saying, but like,
yeah.
I think that people saw it as like, oh, we're not getting enough gold, and the only thing that they're going to do to change that is make us pay money for it. But I'm not convinced that the gold gain is really a problem.
It's not as much a problem by itself as like it's part of a much bigger problem. First of all, it's kind of like, well, League of Legends doesn't mean it's a good practice.
Sure.
Like we shouldn't be having this practice in the first place. And secondary, it's obviously the fact that they gave us a solution that wasn't the right one. It's not the solution we wanted. It's not the solution we needed.
Maybe
so
it's
everybody's kind
deserved.
of like
I was waiting for that.
I was gonna try and do it, and then I'm like, somebody else will take it.
I'm sorry, I'm full of corny shit.
But
It had to happen. We were all thinking it.
I was thinking it definitely when I started this. It's just like the gold gain is already abysmal right now.
Is it?
It's totally abysmal right now.
How many-
The gold gain that you're getting, the actual gold gain that you're getting, is coming from daily quests.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's why
leveling
there
characters.
are daily quests. That's why.
Yeah, but like for people who tend to play more competitively, people who really need those characters,
Yeah.
they pretty much
Can't
got
spend
no
a few
choice.
Yeah,
That's
if you need them, then like, if you really think that you need them, then they're not that expensive. And you've got daily quests, you've got the gold you get from leveling up. There's the bundles. So I guess I should qualify before I say anything else about this, that I bought both the Nexus and the Battle Bundle. Because
that must have set you back a bit.
It was $80, yeah.
Yeah, oh man.
So the thing is, the Nexus bundle was an easy purchase for me. The Battle Bundle I feel a little worse about, because that was only 3 heroes, but you get Lurkablo and Blood Elf Tyrant, and I was just like, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
But the Nexus bundle, you get, I think, 8 heroes.
Mhm.
So, like, regardless of... You get, like, the Nazebra and the Unicorn and some, like, dumb skins that I don't care about. But, like, you get a bunch of heroes. And if you just start by buying that, then you have a lot of the heroes that you want. You have every role, you know? And then from there, you can kind of just buy the ones that you really think are going to be cool, you know?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. For some context, I only bought the Nexus bundle, and I'm looking at my screen right now. I own 15 heroes, including Jaina.
Uh-huh.
And that's only having bought the Nexus bundle. And I have 18,000 gold still sitting here.
What?
So I could probably buy...
How long have you been playing?
A while. I mean, this is all since the reset, though. Like,
Okay.
the alpha reset.
Oh,
this
so
is all
since
just
the reset,
then.
you've gotten... Wow, that's a shit ton of stuff.
And I haven't bought Muradin, who's only 2,000 gold, so I could own him.
Mhm.
I haven't bought Raynor, who's also 2,000 gold. There's a couple other dudes that I haven't bought that are kind of low on the mark here. Tassadar, 4,000 gold. Illidan, 4,000 gold. I don't own any of those guys. Sonya, 4,000 gold. Don't own her. So, like, I have 18,000 gold and 15 heroes available to me right now.
Yeah, the way I see it with
basically, you're
leveling...
Bill
One
Gates.
pack. But that's it. I've only bought
yeah.
the Nexus bundle. And so I have plenty of hero choice available to me right now from only having spent maybe
40.
what was it, $30 on this game, $40. It was actually on a discount. I can't remember. It might not have even actually been 40 when I bought it because it was like 75% off.
Oh, nice,
for people
yeah.
who were in the alpha before they did the reset.
So that's kind of my thought on gold gain, is just if you buy the Nexus bundle, then you get a bunch of heroes, and then, like, you get the level up gold, you get daily quest gold. You know, it's going to take a little while, but, you know, that just gives you some time to focus on the heroes that you like, you know? Like, just get a couple that are really cool.
I mean, I think one of the things is that, and this is something that I think we, but also everyone else who's in the alpha has to keep in mind, is that the game is only an alpha, and so I think like one of the examples that's given, one of the comparisons between HOTS and LoL, for why HOTS is too slow in its gold gain, is that there are really, really, really cheap champions that are available. Some that'll only take 1 or 2 games to play to actually afford. And I think that the solution could present itself in the form of the hero pool actually substantially growing right up until launch.
Yeah.
More options might help alleviate the frustration with slow gold gain. I think it is a bit slow, but I just don't feel too upset about it.
It is absolutely slow. I don't think anyone's debating that factor. It is slow gold gain, but it's also, like, again, it's a free to play model where you show up and, like, if you're not paying a cent for the game, you have options. You have free heroes that you can play. You can still play the game. You're not at any disadvantage to anyone else. Like, once you get past the talent gating that everyone has to do, even if you buy the hero, you're not actually lower abilities than anyone else in the game. Like, even League of Legends, for example, would be worse than that because they have a rune system. And if you don't have your runes, like I played that game for years, and even by the time I ended it, I didn't have 9 rune pages and a whole rune page for each champion specifically set up.
Buying a rune page itself was the cost of the most expensive champions.
Yeah,
yep,
see?
975 RP or 6300
that
IP.
Stuff gets in depth. Where here, like if you own the champion, once you get it to level 4, which is 3 to 4 games if you're losing, maybe.
Yeah, if you're playing with friends, it depends, but like very quickly. It's a very quick process to get to 4.
So it is slow. It totally is. But I mean, if you're not hardcore and you're not super competitive,
then you don't live hardcore. And the Battle of the Realm was way hardcore.
You probably have enough options anyway.
Or
right?
Legend
If you're
of the
not
Realm.
playing a lot, you have a rotating schedule of champions. You're getting a whole bunch of variety by the time you've played out. Like by the amount you play in 1 week, you're not going to try all of them and be all bored of all of them. So the next week you're going to have a refresh. And if you are playing hardcore, then you should probably either be grinding through those quests and getting gold, or, I mean, just pay some money for the game if you're playing it that much.
Yeah.
Like, if I wouldn't take Skyrim and play 60 hours into that game and be like, oh man, I'm glad I got this for $0, because I would never pay $50 for this game.
In conclusion, made you wrong.
No,
do you have anything else to say about it before we move on?
Yeah, I'm gonna use a comparison that I think, like, you guys are all right, obviously. Like, a ton of these points are 100% correct.
Obviously.
I'm gonna use a comparison. Over here, we had a tournament that was supposed to happen, I think, just a little while back. A StarCraft 2 tournament, and it was like this, they hyped it up as a pretty big event. It wasn't. But they wanted to do it as charity. So then they were like, okay, everybody, there's going to be a $500 prize pool for StarCraft, and there's a $50 entrance cost, and you bring your own computer.
Ooh.
So for me, that was like, wait, this is bullshit, you know? Like, you want to donate to a charity, but like, everybody's forced to give this hefty chunk, which made that not many people were coming, you know? Also, they weren't making people pay for, like, you couldn't actually go and watch. So I couldn't pay $5 to watch. So it's counterintuitive more than is it right or wrong. Would they have ended up making much more money for the charity and make the tournament much more interesting by lowering individual costs so that more people can get on it? Because if you're making it a charity, like, more people will get on it, you know? Like, maybe I'm not interested in StarCraft, but am I interested in helping this charity and watching StarCraft? Yeah, totally.
So, do you think that if they made it a little cheaper in real world dollars for the heroes, would that change it? Is that your point, or are you saying just like they should have more gold so that you get in franchise faster and we'll pay more money later?
I definitely think I wouldn't mind the gold cost right now as much if heroes cost was lowered a bit. Like right now, the top supports, not even the top supports, if I wanted to have all the supports, I think at least 2 or 3 of them are 10,000 gold.
Yeah.
And even the other really good ones are 7,000.
Tassadar's 4,
Tassadar is like
and
the cheapest good one.
The only other ones, Tyran 7. Yeah.
Yep.
So I had to buy all the supports if I wanted to be competitive, which I did. On my team, I had to do that. So I had to shell out money for Brightwing and another character in real money. And I'm super poor, so that was like a big chunk, you know, for me.
I'm with you.
Like, it wasn't really fun. Like, but if it was less, if those 10,000 heroes were $6, if the lower heroes were $2 or $4, like, you can bet your ass I would have bought a lot more heroes.
Yeah.
I would have made up. I would have probably put $20 instead of $15. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
It brings up an interesting point. Like, what if they held the same gold cost, but the gold cost and dollar cost were separated?
Yeah.
And so, like, you would. You know, like, let's say instead of a 10,000 gold champion being $9.99, yeah, it's like $5.99 or, you know, $6.99. I would be like, that would make it much easier to be like, yeah, fuck, I don't feel like grinding all the way up to 10K multiple times. I can spend $12 for Brightwing and Stitches. Boom. You know what I mean? Like, I think, I actually have to agree with you. I think that'd be a good alternative, but that also, it comes down to that supply and demand curve that Blizzard will know or has projections on, but we won't.
Yeah.
And that's what stinks.
All right, well, I didn't want to talk about that at all, so that was a good amount of time to talk about that.
Yeah,
Just like stim packs, yeah, we get it. It's kind of it feels a little insulting or weird, but we'll get over it, and they'll be in the game, and nobody will talk about it, and that'll be it.
Yeah,
As long as they don't, oh my god, with League, how it says like, oh, you don't have an IP boost, so you didn't get this stuff, but I don't want that, but like I can handle stim packs existing. Okay, scrolling down, Winter Veil had some cool skins. The Winter Veil Jaina is very sexy.
Snowman.
Yeah,
Snowman.
the Snowman Water Elemental is brilliant. I like that, and then they've got Master skins out for ATC, Jaina, and Malfurion. That's all cool. Under sound, Crown Prince Arthas skin has been updated with a complete voiceover rework, which is really cool. Not noted in the sound stealth update, they fucked up the sound.
Yeah.
But, they didn't put that in the patch notes. I'm sure we'll get that fixed. It's, it's an alpha. Which is why I find it so infuriating and hilarious when people get really mad about stuff that happens in the alpha. Oh my god. Blizzard, what are you doing? Fix this, please! It's like,
Fix
dude.
this game, Liz.
Yeah, and people complaining about how, the way that they're going about the changes right now. I've explained to so many people, or at least tried to on Reddit, like, hey, this is not for you to enjoy now. They're doing this so that other people enjoy the game later. It's the difference between...
Up, son. You fucked up. You fucked up, Blizzard.
The terminology used to be, oh, I'm a beta tester. You remember that? And then, I think it was when the Halo beta came along with Crackdown in, 2008, that kind of era. And, betas just became demos. And then people started saying, oh, you get into the beta instead of I'm a beta tester. And there's no sense of, duty to it anymore. Duty.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just...
You don't think of yourself as a tester. You think, I'm playing the game.
Oh, man, I get to play the game early. What the fuck? Why is it broken?
Pretty much.
So,
Quick, go to Reddit.
Hey, everybody. Calm your asses down. So we've got stim packs. A couple minor changes. Spore Queen's Curse on the Garden Terror. Radius reduced by 10%. Guys, what do you think about this game-breaking change?
I think this is going to change the entire meta.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Honestly, I think Lili's going to pull ahead as the best support now because of that change.
Yeah. Oh, no, man, I can't hit that thing anyway, so now I'm just never going to hit it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Poor change.
But seriously, that's not really big.
I'm trying to find anything that's interesting.
Promote.
What about
promote. Yeah, we could talk about those. None of them are really huge deals. Like the change to the knights now instead of golems at the bottom of Dragonshire, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It's pretty logical.
Oh, it's actually better.
Yeah.
In some cases, because the 6 golem death push was just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially with Merklord, it's just dumb.
It made it a little harder to It made it a little easier to snowball, and I get the impression that Blizzard just doesn't want that. They basically want, there's an advantage to doing well early, but mostly you just need to, play the game and whoever kills the enemy next is first wins. Instead of
it's inconsistent.
Being able to lose the game early.
Early on, they've made it clear that they don't want hero kills to matter a lot.
Yeah.
It's easy to come back from it. In a perfect game for pros, 1 kill early on is actually a big difference. But then it comes down to another problem, which is people who reach level 10 first, which then you get the actual snowball. The actual snowball happens most of the time when a team gets to level 10 and the other team is level 8.5 or 9.
Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable point for the game to start to turn in one direction, because you can make up that difference later on, but getting to level 10 and having a solid minute, if you're really ahead, to be higher level than them at that point and have your heroics, you get to complete some objectives and it's good, and then they catch up and things kind of stabilize a bit. I think that's healthy.
The problem with level 10 is that people are going to use it to take down a keep. and you cannot do anything about that. So now they're level 11, and you're still level 9 because you can't do anything for fear that you'll get ganked by the level 10s. And then, oh look, they did another push to level 12, and you just hit level 10. So that's kind of a problem with snowballing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's deadly, you know. And at later levels, the problem I have with the inconsistency is that early on we don't want levels to matter, but later on, say it's like 20 minutes into the game, you're all like level 21, you get a single wipe, and it's so hard to get back from that. Like Resurgence used to change that a lot because it was basically just a fight of who gets Resurgence, and people would just keep mashing themselves at each other, and then, oh, let's pray something happens, you know. Now nobody wants to engage, and if you do, then it's kind of one side's gonna win, pretty much. So
yeah, you know what the problem is with this game? Whenever there's a conflict, one side usually wins and the other side loses. I'm getting kind of sick of that.
But that's so unfair.
I know. I feel like everybody should win and then get ice cream. I don't know. I'm not like trying to like be
that.
like satirical and like make fun of you or anything. I just felt like saying that. I don't know. Yeah.
He has a good point. Like,
yeah, I haven't noticed it personally at my level.
9 to 10,
Once we have ranked, I'll be able to tell people just how bad I am at this game. But as it stands now, it's just like I'm just playing as the same person, as the same thing as everybody else, and like I don't know. It's just like it seems fine. It doesn't seem like a problem, but we'll see. It'll shape up over time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the classic difference between solo queue and coordinated team fights, or just coordinated team play rather.
Yeah, you can definitely take advantage of it a lot more.
The strength of these strategies or the strengths of these talents. I mean, as it stands, given that I've only really played just a shitload of solo queue, Resurgence of the Storm going up to 180, I actually feel pretty happy about. But I also haven't played. I probably haven't played enough games on this patch yet to really like experience the changed meta. I mean, I see these posts on Reddit, people talking about games lasting really long now, 40 plus minutes. I've still yet to have one of those games. I haven't had like a sub 10-minute game since the patch, but I'm fine with that.
I have. Hey,
was it earlier today?
Zavis, what's your cat's name?
Her name is Lilu. Lilu Dallas Multicat.
So it's just it's a mixture of Lily and Lulu?
No, it's Lilu. You haven't seen The Fifth Element. You're too young.
I skimmed it.
I'm not.
Awesome. Someone gets it.
The 40-minute games, though, that's because of another stealth patch. That's actually what I wanted to talk about mostly.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier before you got on.
That's why we're not supposed to talk about anything in the game before we start broadcasting. I told you guys. All right.
Time didn't exist.
So what's the change? Does anybody have a link to the actual specific changes? Because there's numbers.
It wasn't officially announced.
We have numbers though, don't we? Because I remember seeing that after like 25 minutes or something, it's like 3% weaker. But then early in the game, the Nexus is much stronger. So for those of you,
like 40%.
Yeah,
it feels like that at least.
For those of you who have not seen any of this, the Nexus is now 40% stronger. I'm not sure whether that means the damage it does or the amount of damage it can take, how big the shields are.
Shields.
Is it shields?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're much stronger earlier in the game and then weaken over the course of the game as compared to before the patch, which makes it harder to end games very early. And But then you know, people are like, "Oh, thanks a lot, change Nexus." Actually, I know how to find the.
There's a Reddit thread there.
Yeah, because the Reddit thread actually had somebody responded with.
The AMA, the summary AMA.
Somebody responded with the numbers regarding the new Nexus.
Yeah, I don't know if the specific numbers are that vital, but it was basically the starting amounts were buffed, but the scaling was nerfed a bit, so that after some point, it would be weaker.
Yeah.
The specific problem is that where people would tend to try to end the game, like let's say it's early on, right? We're level 12. My team managed to do a really strong push on bot, on Dragon Shire or something like that. You know, like we really put a lot of effort into that. and then we're gonna try to end the game. So in a normal game, we put all of that effort and we're rewarded with a win because the enemy team didn't react correctly to defending their bot. But now we're trying to do this and we can't even get through a shield, and then we barely do 25% damage before the mule repairs it. And it's like, well, shit, now we gotta wipe. And
so why didn't you
every
just...
single one of our efforts is dead.
Well, then go, kill some forts. Right?
It's not frustrating in that like now we can't do it anymore. It's more like before it worked and now it kind of came as a surprise. Like it wasn't even announced.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that's true, but I think they just forgot to mention it. But yeah, going forward, I think it's positive. It's a positive change for the way the games are going to play out. On a long-term scale.
Their response to the complaints about the undocumented changes was basically, yeah, we fucked up. We'll get better at it.
I did like that. They were just like,
and that's they kind of shrug and they go, but it's a free game.
It's like Pete Holmes going, free podcast, everybody. This is a free podcast.
Well, it's kind of like I actually do software work for a living, so I fully understand that like when you're doing that stuff and you have tons of changes happening, you can miss some stuff. You got one person who's maybe responsible for making those patch notes, and they write down what they've been told about. And then, Bob over there who made the change to the Nexus help didn't tell him about it. And then Kathy over there changed something else.
Kathy, that's hilarious.
Merc camp at the bottom.
Women don't program.
And just all these little things that someone changed and it gets into the build and they're like, oh, I thought that was supposed to be for next build. Or,
it was so funny. It was so funny and humanizing because they're just like, oh, yeah, well, see, what happened was we've got a lot of stuff that happens and sometimes we forget about it, so we didn't write it down. As if there's just one guy in a corner with like a notepad going, what did you change? Okay. To what %? All right, got it. Okay, cool.
Hey, we actually have a chat question.
Yeah, I saw that.
Try to address here. So he said, do you know anything about the bonus XP awarded for killing all the forts? I heard something like this today and haven't been able to look up anything about it. So I'm thinking what they're talking about is the fact that the experience was spread out so that the main fort isn't the whole chunk of your experience points anymore. It's now...
That doesn't sound like what he's referring to, though. Because it is. They definitely said that the way it's going to work now is like most of the XP that you get for killing a fort is from the actual town hall, but the tower and the healing fountain also grant some amount of the XP, but the total hasn't changed. He seems to be talking about when you destroy all of the forts. I don't know whether he means the full...
No. He's talking about the towers.
Okay.
He's talking about
I don't think that changed ever... Yeah, because that what he's asking about has never happened yet.
No, it has.
No. He's saying there's a bonus for killing all 3 forts on the map.
I'm curious. I'm asking.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what you were talking about earlier, mate, is definitely true, and it's actually a reason why Blackheart's Bay is less frustrating because
that's true.
That first set of cannonballs originally, if you weren't hard pushing mid prior to getting the
wouldn't
points,
give you any XP.
Yeah, and now it's still relevant. But yeah, it is now spread out. I like the change quite a bit.
Yeah, it seems good.
I think it can slow down the snowball because there are more options for each team to come back and come back from an XP deficit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very reasonable change. Nothing like to write home about it. Just like, oh yeah, it seems good. There's a lot of those in this patch actually. Like a lot of things where I looked at them and said, okay. In fact, so other than the things we've talked about, Tassadar being like absolutely crushed without really, he doesn't seem to have a focus anymore, and the reason that I have a problem with that is simply because I don't think that we should really have heroes all confined to exactly one role. Like, I loved playing Lulu in League of Legends because Lulu, you would play mid lane, top lane, support, occasionally AD carry if you were feeling stupid. But like you could build a damage Lulu and you could build a support Lulu, and she kind of like she bridged the gap between the two, and I really liked that. And Tassadar seemed to be doing the same thing. He was too good of a damage dealer, and like you could kind of still do a lot of the supporty stuff while doing damage, which was bad. But I feel like restricting heroes to have, on the screen they say exactly what they do. I feel like at least some of them should be hybrids where you can build them in different ways that lead you to be more of a damage dealer, more of a support in like a stronger way than they are now. Because a lot of the warriors...
You see a bunch of DPS Tyrandas running around killing everything.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be like every hero can do anything. I'm totally okay with
I know.
like Jaina being pure damage, and I'm okay with like all of the warrior classes still being pretty tanky, but like I think the problem is just like if there's a support class, like what does that mean exactly? They do utility, they do shielding or healing and stuff, but like why can't you have a damage build on a support class that's actually viable? I feel like they're scared of the Scythe Storm build Tassadar right now.
Well, like imagine Uther having the same exact kit, but his W did like twice as much damage.
Yeah.
He would hit like 100% pick ban rating.
Yeah.
And I think that might be is that whenever a champion has too many things to offer a team without any sort of opportunity cost for building in a particular
sure,
direction.
There should be opportunity cost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think it's just a really tough line.
That's true. That's
to
true.
Walk.
That's a good point.
Plenty of games have failed trying to do that.
Yes,
but I don't
have.
disagree with your idea that it'd still be cool to see a champion like that done well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a thought that I had, But all of the other changes were like, oh, they made Sonya a little stronger because she was really bad, as we found out playing her last week when she was free. I really like the Nazebo change, increasing the permanent health and mana gains he gets. And, it was more just a quality of life thing for people playing against Nazebo to make it so that you don't get stacks for, like, locusts or other, like, non-lane things. They nerfed Abathur. It seemed kind of weird that they nerfed Anubarak the way they did. Was he too strong?
Yeah, Nubarak was crazy.
Yeah, his rewind combo made it so that he could engage, he could just do whatever the fuck he wanted. Yeah. And he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's you have to consider the rewind with his burrow sort of thing. So
sure,
make scarabs, shield, stun people, rewind, stun people, shield, get out.
Okay, so cool. You take out rewind, you give him imposing presence, very reasonable. But then they also pretty heavily nerfed his shield.
This is true.
By like, what is that? 25%, I think, or 30%.
It made him too strong. That's the thing. Like Anubarak was pretty much a top pick right now, and by top pick, he was just too good. He was way strong.
Yeah.
You could stun the entire team and then get away for free, or you could just continually go in. And with that rewind, it also meant you had a double shield. People would nuke you down. The shield is really, really good. And people would nuke him down, and he'd just pop his shield back up.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he has all these scarabs, which add to a lot of damage in the end. Like, people don't think of it. The scarabs do an enormous amount of damage, and they block skill shots.
Can they?
So
Yeah.
So
It's
you couldn't
frustrating.
hit Anubarak with your skill shots. You were stunned, and he was dishing out mad damage with immolation or other crazy shit,
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I gotta play him. I was going to buy him because I loved playing him while he was free. I didn't end up buying him because he got nerfed, but I guess I'll have to try him again now. So that's, whatever. Asmodan, with the promote nerf, he's a lot weaker now. Bound Minion is a little, whatever. Other patch note stuff that's relevant.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
not a whole
I
bunch.
think I kind of feel like the alt change to Tyrael was, I mean, at least the damage nerfing I think was a little unwarranted. I don't feel it's necessarily that alt that makes Tyrael strong. I don't think Tyrael's even overpowered right now.
It doesn't seem like it, no.
No, I mean it's a great alt, but I think that if they wanted to tone down Tyrael's damage or Tyrael's skills, which I really hope they don't, is focus on Tyrael's E. because it can be built to do a lot of damage, and it adds not only move speed to your team, but if you take the displacement talent, that's a whole lot of CC and utility added to team fights.
I think that's actually why they hit the R, like the ultimate, because he's really strong and his kit is really nice. But I mean, I think that's it. Like they didn't want his engage to be the finisher, right? I think they wanted it to be, I'm gonna get you, and now I'm gonna use my actual good kit to kill you. I'm not just gonna be like, oh hey, look at that person running away, boom.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I always tended to save the ult for just the right moment in team fights. I guess I'm just trying to, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I guess that's why they nerfed the damage, is because it keeps the utility.
Yeah, it still does the exact same thing. It just means you have to actually have a follow-up now. You can't be like, well, I've got nothing else, but this ult's going to go kill that Tyrande across the map now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess the other changes were the Uther changes, which I think, well, definitely warranted. I don't think they're going to keep him from being a top-level support pick still.
I don't know that they want to, yeah. Because he's not like ruining anybody's day. He's just very strong, you know? I think that's fine.
And I think, and I'll say this too, and I might piss a few people off, but
oh, shit.
I think Nova got hit way too hard. I think she is a near useless champion now.
Yeah. The way that I saw her,
I've played her. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say pre-nerf. I'm talking too much, but I'm the host. I can do what I want. Damn it. Pre-nerf, people were getting very upset about her, which was reasonable because she's like, she really does like. She's frustrating to play against, I think, because I
think she was definitely frustrating, but I will be that guy who defends Nova, even pre-nerf. I think she was worthy of some level of nerf, but I think that they should have done it slowly. I think that they should have done it piece by piece in a couple different patches.
Yeah.
So if they had, let's say, nerfed the base and scaling of her Q, or instead of doing that first, how about they just take rewind out of her talent pick and see how the next couple weeks go. Yeah. And then if it's still bad, then let's say do them to Q nerf, and then it's still bad. We can, But I think that all at once, and she's just gone. I mean, I've played against and I've played as Novas since post nerf, and I don't know. I just don't know why you wouldn't play a different ranged assassin.
Yeah, you can just play Vala and have like actual damage.
I think what she needs is probably a bit more damage on snipe or a way to combo. Maybe make it so if you follow your snipe, if you start with W and you use your Q, you get a 40% damage boost.
Yeah, something like that would be nice. Actually, so I don't know why they nerfed her Q.
I don't know about the nerf, but I know why they aren't doing this yet. It's because you can get a talent at I think level 13 or level 16 that does give you 25% extra damage when you do the W. But it should be there in the first place. It shouldn't be a talent choice because of how weak she is overall,
Yeah, and I mean a successful combo, again, like we were talking with Street Fighter, successful combo is what allows you to separate good plays from bad plays, or effective mechanics versus ineffective mechanics.
She is already very skill intensive though, and I think that led to the problem which eventually brought about the nerf, which was just if somebody's very good at her, it's very painful to play against her, because she's just going to show up and kill you. But people were seeing that and saying she's overpowered when I think those people were just very good, right? Like, they knew what they were doing, so they were able to do a lot of damage. But, that doesn't necessarily get your team anywhere. Just getting kills, made what? What? Oh, I don't have the video on what?
I'm
look
gonna
incredulous.
Wave my white flag. I'm gonna wave my.
Okay,
my Nova
so Nova
here.
was too strong. Tell me why.
It's not that. It's like the skill part. And getting kills. I think the weakness that Nova had is that she can only get kills. So that's a nerf in itself. But if she was too strong at getting kills, it meant that other people couldn't do objectives. And say we're on Dragon Knight, it's frustrating because even if we kill the Nova, if we lost 2 people, now we can't get we can't do anything about the Dragon Knight or stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised she got nerfed. I just wanted to see Rewind get taken out and see what she looked like after that. Because I don't really think that. Let's say I don't think they had to nerf her auto attack, her hot shots talent, which I guess was renamed to anti-armor shells.
Yeah, that's actually so. That's the real thing that people should be raging about. I'm surprised there aren't Reddit threads about that. Really?
No, because
anti-armor shells instead of hot. No. You're missing my point, Biffy. Biffy, really? Anti-armor shells instead of hot shots? What's the better name there?
Fuck you and die shots.
Honestly,
that's how it felt sometimes when I was playing Nova.
It's very
300% shots.
I'm very angry that they changed that. I don't actually care.
We need a whoosh sound effect.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll happen quite a bit with me. Just wait.
Oh no! I wasn't like. I don't think you missed anything. I just hadn't said yet. Like, oh well, the problem is just that they renamed it. So, what else? There was the undocumented changes. Do we want to go through any of those? Are there any who's got the? I think Zavis. You said you had those up, right? Or was that no?
No, I have the AMA.
The AMA. All right. What happened in the AMA that was interesting? Anything noteworthy?
Singing the praises of Jaina as a thing, talking about the UI and how it's going to be updated to kind of adjust to have more heroes, basically, because obviously the current hero UI has space for 3 more heroes to be released, and then it's lacking.
Then they can't make any more. Blizzard's just going to be like, listen, guys, this is the game. You know what? Have fun.
So, yeah, lots of people singing praises of Jaina, how good she is. Pending improvements to Mule, the AI for Mule, so it actually focuses on things that matter when it comes to repairing things.
That was loud. Yeah,
hey, you see that fort that's really badly damaged? I think I'm gonna repair that tower that doesn't have any ammo.
This healing fountain is at only 80%. So the fact that the fort's at 10, I'm not too concerned. Yeah, the first I feel like within the first day or two that I started playing HOTS, I went on that Reddit thread that said, hey, here's how you use the mule correctly. And it had, very specific, pixel perfect spots that you had to put the mule to get it to go where you wanted. I'm like, all right, this is not something that I'm going to bother with. They have to fix this before
that was
beta.
A troll, actually. Wasn't that a troll post?
I don't know. I could believe it. It seems like it's not unbelievable.
It feels kind of like those things in MMOs where they're like, okay, so you guys, there's this secret weapon, so you have to go under that statue, then you have to cast this really specific spell, right? Then you have to go see Thrall, and you have to click his dialogue 3 times. Then you have to go under Ironforge, and you have to look at the diver, and then something magical will appear.
Yeah. Oh, you have to load up an emulator with Mario 64 and find all of the books that are in the water and stuff. Or was there just all the books?
I lost track of what
and the cheese in.
Did I just space out?
You have to find all of the cheese in Perfect Dark, or was it? It was some game. I think it was a rare game on N64 where there were just these cheese wheels in really hard to find places. It was great. Anyway, any thoughts that you guys want to share wrapping up? I think we're about finishing up here. I think we covered everything. I think we have basically solved Heroes of the Storm, unless you guys have anything else to say.
Yeah, I think we just beat the game.
GG.
Oh, side note, I just lost the game. I don't know about you guys, but...
Oh.
Sorry,
now,
listeners.
If that was the actual ending, that'd be perfect, unfortunately.
All right, so, yeah, I think that's it.
Good first time, I think.
Biffy?
Maybe we should take a couple minutes and see if anyone in the viewers viewer section has a question.
Yeah.
I do this on my stream and no one ever asked anything.
Questions, anyone?
Well, just on that note, actually, one of the viewers just mentioned Jimmy M328. I think that's it.
Yeah.
There was the change to the mounts, the heroes that don't actually have mounts, like Zagara and Asmodan and such, they actually have a thing that shows their mount in the hero select screen now, so you can
that's
see
cool.
their wings and such.
Oh, and
which sort of implies that there might be changes to the future where you can change the color of those like you can your mounts, right? So maybe Asmodan's little flame trail could be green as well, or blue.
I definitely think that's a change that's going to be coming. It's
Yeah,
not on the most priorities, but I do think it's going to be added before the official launch.
Yeah, so that's something. That's
building
being
on that, the
insinuated.
Kerrigan bat mount when you're playing the
similar.
vampire
Just
Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sorry,
yeah.
I just had to.
Yeah.
Another
fair
thing
enough.
from the AMA was about Tychus and Shen and their ults that basically give them double health because they just regen their
Oh my
health
god, the
bar.
Murden
And so
bug is so funny right now.
that too, yeah. But so yeah, they mentioned that they were aware of that and they want to rework because they like the way the ults are and they like the feel of them, but they believe that the health gain is a bit too strong. So like it fits better on Shen because he's a tank and he's supposed to just survive. But for an assassin like Tychus to be able to go in, deal tons of damage, drop an Odin, deal tons of damage, have full health again, and then drop out and dash away is not really fitting with the role of an assassin.
My main problem with Chen's ult is that he gets an invulnerability period where when he casts his ult, he's invulnerable for about, like, I think 1 second or something like that. So you can't even interrupt it. Say I'm Tyrael and I do Sanctification. It's really rare, but it can happen. You can stun him, and then bam, ult is cancelled. Nazeebo, you can stun him, bam, ult is cancelled, etc. Whereas Chen, he's guaranteed to get out alive. You can't do anything about it because he has jump on his pandas. If you decide to focus on Chen at the start of the engagement, he's wasting a lot of your time with shields, and then he ults away. And if you don't focus on him, he's pretty much destroying your front line or your back line. You know?
Yeah.
Because he's got pretty sick burst in the end if you let him do his thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Invulnerability makes it the thing.
Biffy, you've got to run, right? Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I got 5 minutes.
Okay.
I got 5 minutes on this topic or a different one.
On anything. So
Yeah, but
hot
Jimmy,
logs.
Jim,
Yeah.
he talked about some hot logs.
Hot logs.
I just had to throw that one in there. Hot logs, yeah, it's a third-party MMR tracking system that,
That sort of works sometimes.
Sort of works. The statistics I've seen tossed around is that 1 of every 10 games is uploaded to their site.
Oh, really?
But they give you an MMR rating, and then using a standard deviation model will assign, based on your MMR, your bronze through hero tier ranking, right? And Jimium wants to know how, I guess, what is it? What our thoughts are, the opinions. I think it's a great. I guess I'm gonna. Yep, there's my call. I'm going to say this. I think it's great because it gives you hero by hero and map by map statistics on your win loss. And I think that is really cool to have. I think that it's nice to see what your MMR could potentially be, but I'm not going to let it dictate how I feel about the game. And I think that's just the attitude, even when you're going into ranked, when you have an official MMR, I think that's the way you should take it. So, I mean, use it with a grain of salt, maybe. Like, if you hit diamond tier after 200 games, like, you're probably actually decent at the game. If it's 300 games and you're at the bottom of bronze, you probably have some work to do.
You have some work to do. That's a nice way to put it. Sure.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like, so I guess like the specific, it doesn't give you a whole lot of specific information that you can rely on. But I think you can make general assumptions.
Okay. Yeah.
Based on what you see.
I'm just very excited to have ranked mode. That's gonna be cool.
I've got a lot to say about hot slogs and ranks, so
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it after he leaves.
Sure.
Yeah.
Biffy.
Probably say goodbye to
Everybody
him for
should
now.
watch Biffy's stream. He's really great. What times do you stream?
I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I try to keep it educational. I talk probably the entire time and don't stop talking. So tune in then. It should be a good time. You can catch me at Twitch TV /BiffySourceRex.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, guys. Had a lot of fun.
All right, thanks,
Awesome.
man.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, so that's...
So my thoughts on hot slugs.
I'm not gonna fix this.
Because I've had a lot of.
That's fine.
I've discussed this a lot with my teammates and with Caldor and with a bunch of people.
Name drop!
I personally think. Oh god. I think on the statistics side, it's probably the most accurate for your own statistics. I think for solo ranking, it's probably going to be the same even when official rankings come out. Right now, as for individual skill, I think it's pretty accurate for the top 200 people. The top 200 people on hot slugs are probably the top 200 people on the game. More or less, we can stretch that out to maybe top 300, top 350.
Sure.
Mix them around. Maybe they're not necessarily. Maybe whoever's top 1 or top 10 or top 20 isn't necessarily at the right position. But it's around there. People who are in diamond are probably around diamond level, etc. Do I think that's a good basis for a team game? No. But if Blizzard made their own 1 versus 1 person rankings on their own MMR, it would probably still be the same thing. Because whoever's good at solo queue is good at solo queue, So yeah, that's my thoughts.
That's a good point. I'm just, like I said, I have, glanced at my Heroes Hot Slugs thing. It says I'm in silver, which seems about right. 1952 MMR. Total games played 90. I think that's wrong, because, you only get...
It's
some
behind
of
a
the
bit.
Yeah, it's probably behind.
I had
but
seen
yeah,
the thing on Reddit
it's good to have
whoever
while
runs
we
this
don't
is
have ranked,
away.
and once we do, I don't think anybody will touch it. So that's that.
Probably. Yeah, it's a decent substitute for...
It fits
some
its
sort of
role right
rank.
now, and
Yeah.
it will probably be gone after.
Well, it will either be gone, or it will be updated so that it uses Blizzard's own metrics, like many of the sites for other MOBAs do. And yeah, I mean, I like it for now because it gives me a bit of a tracking for myself. I can see my ratings, everything that Lev was already saying. But I think you need to take it with a grain of salt. For instance, for me, it says my current MMR is 2692, which seems good. But at the same time, there's a really small player pool. So, I played the beta for Hearthstone, and I was Master League when I played that.
Mm-hmm.
But after I did that, I got up into maybe rank 10, rank 9 a lot of the time, and then I would kind of settle there because there was just way more people playing and a lot of really good players.
More people, and also more people learn the game more and stuff like that. It's beginner's advantage.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I think that covers most or all that we wanted to talk about for
Cool.
today.
Zavis, do you have anything that you want to plug? Any? I don't think there is there?
No, I mean...
You should plug our podcast.
Yeah, hey guys, we do this sweet podcast called StormWatch.
We're going to be back next week, same time, same place.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to plug. My Twitch channel exists, but my streaming schedule is very sporadic. I might pop up and do a stream here and there, but it's not something I do too considerably. I might start doing it more if we keep doing this and I start feeling I should probably stream more just because it'll go well with this, and then I'll have some clout for when I say things.
Yeah. And then people would be like, oh my god, this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He's so bad.
It's man, I've watched his stream and he's really bad. He should just shut up. Start sending Abra messages. You should get that guy off the podcast.
I don't know about this dude. He's funny, but...
I was looking at the chat. There was a guy, Phaser Fox, was asking what we thought about the price of heroes.
Yep.
I went and spammed it a bunch in chat and kind of rehashed what we were talking about, but refer to the VOD because we went into that quite a bit.
Yeah. May, did you want to cover anything else? So tell us about Leviathan real quick. You're on a team, right?
Oh gosh, that's actually a bit vague because I took an indefinite hiatus because
Okay.
I actually really want to study.
All right, you're kicked off the podcast then. Bye.
We needed a pro player.
God damn it!
Damn it!
Not a sort of pro player. No, but honestly, I've played with Made before. He's very fucking good. You'd be, yeah. It's a good time.
Swag.
All right, so do you stream at all or?
I stream, yeah, like Zay. I do it sporadically.
Okay. So, well, I had the whatchamacallit on there. Facebook page. Jimmy M asks, "Do we have a Facebook page for the streams? I'll know when to tune in. We'll follow this channel on Twitch. That'll definitely work, and we'll work on the social media stuff. You know, this is episode 1. Thank you for catching it. You're going to be able to tell all the kids how cool you are that you saw it first.
Yeah, officially, everyone in chat right now, all probably 12
no,
of you, because
we
I
don't.
think we're all watching.
Hey, we don't talk about how many people there are. There's millions.
No, you have to talk about it.
No, you don't.
You guys have hipster cred.
We're definitely referring. We'll
credit.
definitely respond to the people who are who are talking to us right now. That's great. We want to encourage that, but we don't acknowledge the fact that there are 15 people watching. Because you know what? Most of them are going to watch the VODs. Not everybody can be there live. So we're probably going to have a couple 100,000. So don't worry about it. All right? This is.
I was actually doing it the opposite. I was saying it was a good thing.
Yeah, wow, 15. That's a whole bunch.
There's a dozen people who can say I was there for the first podcast.
Way to go, guys. You dozen are the true American heroes.
Yeah.
I'm going to end the podcast now.
Peace.
Where's the outro?
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Ready? Check it out. All right, here we go.
Cool.
We do that, and then we do this. All right, everybody. Thanks very much for listening. It's been very cool, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place. I love you.